Hey everybody, well a good Saturday afternoon. Tom Brannon joining you here from the THV 11 studios. You're watching THV 11 Plus, Arkansas streaming leader. We're also going to be on Facebook, YouTube this afternoon, as well as any other platform that you can see us. All right, let's talk about the weather. That's why I'm here today, to make sure that you know what's going on around you. And first up, we're going to start in Northwest Arkansas. The big game today, the Razorbacks and Texas A&M. That game time has been pushed to 4:30 for a kickoff today due to this. You're looking at Northwest Arkansas. This is Fayetteville, Futrall Boulevard. We've had some rain and we've had some pea-sized hail in Northwest Arkansas this afternoon, with a round of thunderstorms moving through the area. Storms are expected to continue. The main concern here is lightning and the lightning delays. So they've just decided to go ahead and push that game to 4:30 today. Probably a wise thing to do considering the weather around us out there. That's our RDOT camera, again, looking Northwest Arkansas. You can see that it is certainly raining. And here's the other information that you need to know. Some of you are probably going to watch the game later today. You still can, I guess, if ESPN moves the game, but we'd rather you watch us. We'll be streaming this afternoon with the weather moving in. Razorback forecast does call for rain. Thunder should end by 4 o'clock, just general rain showers, gradually clearing out by 7 o'clock. Again, the kickoff is at 4:30. Now let's get to the weather. Now, Pulaski County and most of central Arkansas, say the eastern part of central Arkansas, not under a severe thunderstorm watch. Pulaski, Faulkner, Saline, Lone Oak, White, Jefferson, Grant were not. But the severe thunderstorm watch came about earlier in the afternoon for the northwestern part of the state. There is a significant line of storms moving in. I'll break it down for you here in just a moment. Severe thunderstorm watch means that we could have ingredients, or we could have parameters where we see quarter-sized hail and 60-plus mile-per-hour winds. We've got a short wave of low pressure along with a frontal boundary that is going to push in and through the state today. The line is expected to accelerate a little as it gets closer to central Arkansas. We could have some wind. We could have some of these embedded brief tornadoes. National Weather Service, by the time they put a warning out, that area of spin is probably already fallen apart. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye on. There is a very low end chance of a tornado, but it's primarily straight line wind this afternoon as the storm system moves across the state. And as you'll see in a few minutes, the weather is going to improve. We're going to actually feel like fall in the next few days, with high temperatures in the 70s and lows at night in the 40s and the 50s. So here's the watch. Again, this is 6 o'clock this afternoon. I anticipate we'll see this shift into central and eastern Arkansas before all is said and done. And even if your county is not under a watch, you could still have a pretty strong thunderstorm this afternoon. Winds of 50-plus miles per hour cannot be ruled out. So let's get to it. There's your watches. Let's go to radar. A lot of folks watching what's happening in radar. I see a little cell popping up down around I-30 in Hot Spring County. That is going to move to the east-northeast, and some of the, the latest model solutions we're putting in a little area of rain and thunder, but we'll keep an eye on those cells. You know, the atmosphere does not have a lot of spin. There's not a lot of tornado parameter with it, but there's just enough to give concern. So that's what's happening on live radar, and you can see that line is coming together out in eastern Oklahoma, western Arkansas. Polk County has a significant storm right now, and this is the way it's been going over the last hour or so. I need to preface that there are no warnings here in Arkansas. There's one down in Texas, so the storms are strong, and you can see a big area of heavy rain is moving over Fayetteville in northwest Arkansas. You've got a heavy rain threat with this. It's actually something that we need, some rain here in the state. Let me take you up to northwest Arkansas. You probably have some interest in loved ones up there. Not much good for tailgating today. There you go. We're looking from Fort Smith up to Fayetteville, and that is a powerful thunderstorm. Lots of lightning with it, the little blue lightning symbols that you see there. So a lot of lightning, some heavy rain, and even some wind gusts of about 40-plus, 50-plus miles per hour. Let's take you down the interstate. That's I-49, I-40. The storms are not quite in our viewing area, except now they're over in Polk County, and they continue to grow. Heavy rain threat, wind threat, and again, as that line moves in, embedded within that line, we cannot rule out a tornado. If we do happen to get a tornado warning this afternoon, what we'll do is jump on our main channel. We're not going to, hopefully not interrupt sports for very long. A lot of folks watching the sport events out there, and I don't want to interrupt them, but with storms beginning to come together, it might be necessary. Here you go, Hot Spring County, Clark County. There's a growing thunderstorm there. I don't see lightning with it at this time, so it's just now coming together. Could be an area of some heavy rain. Movement of that cell is going to be to the northeast along I-30. And will impact folks that live in Garland, Hot Spring, eventually Saline County. Again, looking at what our high-res data was saying this afternoon, there could be a little area that develops in central Arkansas. Let me take you back to the maps. You can see that line coming together, now beginning to push in to western Arkansas, where we have a severe thunderstorm watch. Severe weather risk today hasn't changed. It stayed as a slight risk of severe weather for the whole state. And again, we're seeing more real estate east of Arkansas for the likelihood of getting, the strong wind gusts along with the potential for a brief tornado. But our primary concern is those winds 60 plus miles per hour. In fact, the hazards, this goes through an update a couple of 3 times a day. Storms Prediction Center went ahead and placed the whole state virtually under a 5% likelihood of a tornado. That's up from 2% yesterday. So there's enough confidence there in the forecast that, within that line, a Boeing line, we could have brief embedded tornadoes spin in within that line. Hail, still confined to northwest Arkansas, quarter-sized hail. We've had pea-sized hail reported out of northwest Arkansas. Scott Covert, KFSM, they've been streaming all morning for folks that are heading to the game. Simone Thomas was on earlier to kind of give you the go-ahead that your drive, if you left at 9 o'clock, was going to be pretty clear for the next 3 hours. But showers and storms have covered up that part of the state. Winds 60 plus miles per hour or greater, again, is our main concern this afternoon. And just to put it in perspective and to kind of break it down, damaging wind low, hail low, tornado threat is minimal, but it is certainly there. And the wind is also something that we'll keep an eye on. Tornado risk, you've seen this floating around. We are able to kind of give you the area that has the best potential for a tornado. And you can come back to me. By the way, Perry Black, our director this afternoon, our digital masterpieces are the folks that are getting us on your digital network. We've got Michael Buckner, he gets a shout out today, and Corey Evans helping us out to make sure that you have the information that you need. So let me walk you through. This is tornado risk with the HER, or one of our high-res models. You see the gray area that is over southwest and west central Arkansas? That's a very low-end tornado threat. I would be a lot more concerned if we were in this purple area. So I'm not as concerned about the tornado threat today, but again, it is there. Let me walk you through the timing as we head through the afternoon hours. We're going to go to around 2:30. It gets a little bit brighter here over the southwest. Still on the very low end. We'll take you through the rest of the afternoon. And this is what's going on. Those storms catch up and overtake that tornado parameter, and we pretty much see it come to an end central and northeast Arkansas, but southeast Arkansas will still have the greatest parameter, the greatest ingredients for the possibility of a tornado. And then we'll move on from there. And yesterday when I was looking at this map, Mississippi had a bit of a brighter area, and I can see that here in Mississippi south of Starkville. So the tornado threat is there. It's very low, and it's mainly going to be a straight line wind threat going forward. I think the severe weather threat for Arkansas is going to come to an end before the 10 o'clock hour tonight. By 9 o'clock, most of the activity, most of the strong to severe weather should be out of our way. Now, what's causing this? It's cold front. It's a powerful cold front, and there's a little short wave area of low pressure, a surface reflection and some upper level energy that's coming along and pushing on this front. And you can see the storms erupting out ahead of that boundary, more of a dry line, and then the cool front delayed. They're the counties under the severe thunderstorm watch. And notice there's only really one area in North Texas under a severe thunderstorm warning, but we still have strong storms pushing into the western part of the state. Let me take you a little bit closer to the action here in central Arkansas. Clouds have come in, have thickened up. The clouds help to inhibit further destabilization, instability, but there's enough out there for thunderstorms to work with. You can see the cells there in Hot Spring County. Again, outside of the watch, you can still have strong thunderstorms. So there you go. It's Hot Spring County, a little cell there. And we're beginning to see that line accelerate, bow out a bit. That's an indication of some strong wind gusts. So as this line moves in to Arkansas, there's a little bit more instability over the western part of the state. That's why we have the severe thunderstorm watch. A couple of those storms could indeed be strong to severe. The timing over the past couple of 3 days has really come together nicely. We have a couple of high-res models. You've heard us talk about the graph. The graph is really the model that looks out the farthest. We get access to that information. The HER has been a lot more accurate. So we stick with the HER in this regard, but they're both timing out perfectly with storms in northwest Arkansas and then getting closer to central Arkansas during the late afternoon and evening hours. You can take this full now, Mr. Perry, if you don't mind. Let me walk through the time. This is 1 o'clock. Here it is, 1:10. Take you up to 2 northwestern Arkansas. If we'd kept the same kickoff time, yeah, they'd be in delay land right now. So 4:30 was a great idea. Storms in western Arkansas moving through Scott, Montgomery, Polk counties. And then by 4 o'clock, they're getting closer to Pulaski County. They could be a little stronger by then. I would anticipate an extension of this severe thunderstorm watch, which is in effect until 6. I think central Arkansas will be added to that. Storms continue at 5 o'clock. From Batesville, Clinton, Conway, Little Rock, Arkadelphia. It's a line, it's a squall line. When you have a line of storms this time of year, the main culprit is going to be strong wind gusts out ahead of it. That's why we were talking about you securing your Halloween decorations. A lot of folks put up Halloween and it gets blown all around, trash cans that might be empty. Yeah, so that's one of the reasons we remind you, say, hey, you might want to secure those things. That line continues to march to the east. 6 o'clock, it is almost through Pulaski. And then eastern and southeastern Arkansas will still have a little ways to go. But I think by 9, 10 o'clock, we'll see the severe weather threat come down drastically. The cold front will be sweeping through. And behind that front, we're going to get a nice shot of fall air. So that's what the HER looks like. In terms of rainfall, this could be a good soaker for a lot of folks. They're getting quite a bit up in the northwest. But this model is updated like I thought it would. It's indicating anywhere from 1 inch to 2, maybe more, widespread across the state. So a good fall soaking with this system. The severe weather timeline, I've updated this now until 5 o'clock in western Arkansas. Earliest point 2 o'clock in west central and central Arkansas through about 9 o'clock, and then let's say 4 to 10 or 11 for the southeastern part of the state. This is really what people ask us the most about because they've got events and activities happening outside, right? And with those events and activities, you want to make sure that you can get inside and get out of the weather's way. I know that some events have been canceled because of the weather, and some of you might be a little upset. We all said it was going to do this, and you said it was going to do that. Well, we knew that thunderstorms would happen today, but the biggest question was the timing. And if you had a softball game here today or some outdoor sporting events, I saw Pee Wee football at 8 o'clock this morning when I went down to the donut shop. Yeah, they played Pee Wee. They probably moved that from an afternoon time period because it looked like the storms were going to stay away from us until late afternoon, and that's the case. So yeah, let's get those events and activities out of the way, batten down the hatches, and make sure that you have your severe weather plan ready just in case something else happens this afternoon. I'm going to cycle through this stuff one more time, but here's what the extended forecast looks like. The weather impact alert day today, northwest and western Arkansas getting theirs now. We'll get ours a little bit later on this afternoon. And then look what happens with the temperatures. They begin to go down. Finally going to feel like fall. 74, 75 is our average high, and we're going to be close to that. Nighttime readings are going to dip into the 40s in central Arkansas. There might even be a few 30s over the northern part of the state. It's that time of year where we certainly need to cool off. If you are just joining us this afternoon, Tom Brannon on THV 11 Plus, on YouTube, on Facebook. I would take questions from you, but I don't necessarily have a way to receive those questions. I know that we've got our digital team standing by to try to answer things for you. Hopefully they can answer questions for you. I'm going to go back to the top of the weather here and let's review once again. National Weather Service has placed a good part of the state, northwest Arkansas, under a severe thunderstorm watch until 6 o'clock. It does not include Pulaski, it does not include Faulkner or Saline counties, but it does include counties just to our west. It's a messy day. Storms are moving through northwest Arkansas. This is Fayetteville. For those of you that travel, this is I-49, and this is the exit or the area that you would take to head over to Razorback Stadium. And you can see you've got some construction going on as well as wet roadways. There's been reports of pea-sized hail in northwest Arkansas. I would imagine some wind gusts below severe limits, but that's what it looks like right now on the roads. And this is here, it's dry. What are we looking at here, Perry? Which is that? Oh, that's I-30. Okay, I-30 River Bridge. It's dry in Little Rock. We've got cloud cover moving in. There is not any rain falling here yet, but there's some rain not far behind, and then you see the cloud cover beginning to move in. Low-level moisture really streaming in, and temperatures are in the upper 70s and low 80s. Mentioned the Razorback game has been moved to 4:30 instead of 2:30. Most of the tailgating activities have been postponed or canceled because of the rain, and the rain is going to continue. It's going to be a sloppy mess up there. 4 o'clock showers continue. They begin to see the rain back off about 7 o'clock tonight. The temperatures dropping from the 70s into the lower 60s. A cool evening up on the hill there at Reynolds Razorback Stadium. Now, excuse me, earlier in the week, been battling sinus issues. Goodness gracious, that time of year, right? Earlier in the week, we had a weather impact advisory. We could look ahead and say, you know, this weather system moving in could impact outdoor activities. Right? Then it was more of a situation where it's just going to get in the way of things, right? But it becomes a little more dangerous when the severe weather risk stays the same all week like it has, and wind and possibly some hail or a brief tornado. So we have it in alert mode right now. A weather impact alert is in effect. Don't go away, computer. You ever have that problem at home with your computer? You step away for a second, it wants to go dark. Yeah, that's what happens. So the weather impact alert continues. Severe thunderstorm watch until 6 for northwest Arkansas. Strong to severe thunderstorms producing some strong wind gusts, possibility of hail, and a brief tornado. So don't forget this now. Secure your decorations outside. This is a Nathan Scott special right here. We're going through, we're talking about what do we need to do here, Nathan? And I'm giving Nathan credit. He's probably not watching this afternoon. You should be on the road. Stay alert and informed. Make sure that you have the THV11 Plus downloaded. We're on YouTube and Facebook this afternoon. But he brings up a good point. A lot of folks have decorations out there, and those things get blown around in those 40, 50, possibly 60 plus mile per hour winds. So we've got the impact alert going on. Here's the watch until 6 o'clock for northwest Arkansas. This watch goes all the way down to Pike County. On the eastern fringe, it's Pike, it's Garland, Perry, Conway, Van Buren, Stone, Izard, Fulton counties right there. Most of the action's going to stay in western and northwestern Arkansas through about 3 or 4 o'clock, and we'll see that line get closer to central Arkansas around 5 or 6 o'clock this afternoon. Latest radar summary looks like this. This is our live radar. I have Little Rock turned on. We've got Fort Smith turned on, and you can see it lining up right here. One warning in North Texas. These are all non-severe storms, but they're packing a wallop with some pea-sized hail, some heavy rain, and some strong wind gusts. And we have a little area that is developing in central Arkansas around the Hot Spring County area. Let me take you down here. Non-severe, not any lightning being detected with this. So it's just a shower right now. But you can see some other areas trying to develop around it. And one of the things that could help with the severe weather threat, or at least limit it, if we get some rain to develop out ahead of that line, that would help to stabilize the atmosphere a bit. So if we get more showers that develop, maybe a couple of thunderstorms, I don't want it to get out of hand. The atmosphere is primed for some low-end severe weather, but not necessarily an outbreak. At least I hope not. It doesn't seem that way. But let's get some rain. If we could see more areas of rain develop here, that will help to lessen the severe weather threat. But you see the showers there in northern Clark and Hot Spring, southeastern Garland, a little bit more over here, Sevier County, Howard County, and then Polk County, Mena. For those of you that are watching us in Polk County or pick us up in Polk County and Mena, you always seem to be the first to get in line to get the bad weather, and you've got a little bit there. It's not severe. In fact, it looks as if there's very little in the way of lightning. This could just be a wind-driven line of storms with some lightning and more wind. There you go. Let's put the loop into motion over the past hour, show you the evolution. There's a low pressure wave here that's on the back side of this that's lifting to the northeast. The frontal boundary will help to push this along into western Arkansas. And I think here by 4 o'clock, it'll be in the Little Rock area, 4 or 5 o'clock. If it could pick up a little forward progress and get out of here, that would make me happy. And Simone Thomas is going to be back along here this afternoon at 3 o'clock. Severe weather risk is a slight risk of severe weather. When we talk about a level 2 out of 5, it's a low risk of severe weather, but it's certainly there. And it's, you know, the reason we're here is it impacts your afternoon and evening festivities. So that's why I'm here this afternoon. I'm here just to kind of walk you through things. Severe weather outlook, the hazards are wind greater than 60 the whole state, hail for about the western half of the state, and about a 5% likelihood of a tornado. It looks like a little sliver of Benton County has been taken out of that. And as soon as those storms move through, the severe weather threat is going to lessen quite a bit for those folks. The impacts are fairly low again, damaging wind gusts, large hail, a minimal tornado threat this afternoon, but it is there. And again, that's why we are with you today. And in terms of the tornado risk, or tornadoes, the timing of everything, let me show you that here in just a second. Give me just a second, Perry. It's going to pop up. And I also want to go to look at Facebook real quick in case somebody popped in with a question about things. And I'm not seeing anything just yet. Let me go THV 11 here. You continue to look at that map. Tornado watch has been issued. How about that? Tornado watch in southwest Arkansas this afternoon. So that's new. That's coming as well. All right. Let me see what the National Weather Service has said about this. That's out of Shreveport. The counties in yellow in southwest Arkansas, Shreveport, the responsibility there. We got one county that we cover in southwest Arkansas, Nevada County. Looks like Nevada is covered, Hempstead, Howard County, Little River, and Sevier. So there is a little bit more of a tornado threat in southwest Arkansas. That matched up with what I showed you just a few moments ago with the tornado risk in the STP. So yeah, let's go back to this map. This is what I was talking about. There was a better chance of it. It was a little higher in the southwest, so that matches up with what the National Weather Service is putting out of the Shreveport area. Let me hop over to their page real quick and see what they are saying about this tornado watch. Okay. Oh, Shreveport. There we go. It's in the wrong channel there. Trying to get that latest message for you. Tornado watch is in effect, yeah, for a few counties. This is until 9 o'clock tonight. Okay. So there's our first tornado watch of the day. And again, the tornado risk. I'm going to put it in motion here. That's right now. Let's take you through 2:30, 3 o'clock. A little bit more of a tornado threat over those counties. Clark County, Pike, Hempstead, Nevada. Got the dropsies there, my bad. So yeah, we've got a tornado watch now, and we're going to see that scrolling on our monitor at home, THV 11. We've got, again, just a couple of counties that are in that area that we'll have to keep an eye on. Tornado risk that's about as high as it gets. But tonight, the southeast and the southern part of the state will have the greatest threat of tornadoes. Okay, so that is until 9 o'clock tonight. That's the new warning. That's a tornado watch, or not a warning, but a tornado watch that came down at 1:20. So just 2 minutes ago, we're talking on THV 11 Plus, and that watch came down. So another useful reason to have THV Plus. Okay, let me find a timeline for you. And here we go. We're now 1 o'clock. Let's go to 2 o'clock. Storms entering western Arkansas. The ones in the southwest we'll have to keep an eye on. Have a little bit more parameter there for a tornado. The line continues to march to the east. This is by 5 o'clock this afternoon in central Arkansas. 6 o'clock over eastern, northeastern, and southwest Arkansas. And that just carries on through. That situation should play itself out by 10, 11 o'clock tonight. Well, that's discouraging, folks. I had hoped that we could just get away with having a severe thunderstorm watch and not a tornado watch. And I'm going to get that map put together real quick while we're on THV 11 Plus. And yeah, Christy was asking if I expected the watch to expand. And there you go. The watches are now out there. Christy, I think the watch is going to expand and include central Arkansas. Now you see the tornado watch. Yes, Alicia is camping on Iron Mountain in Polk County. Polk County getting a pretty good thunderstorm right now. And yes, thank you, Alicia, for watching. So is it going to get bad tonight? That's going to be the question. Gracie, I think that it's defined bad. Yeah, everybody has a different definition of bad. You got a tornado watch now, so there's the potential for a tornado in southwest Arkansas. But many times we've seen other counties that may not be included get a tornado warning. Although I'm not expecting it to be super terrible bad, there could still be 1 or 2 tornado warnings this afternoon and through this evening. The good news is the speeds along and it gets out of the state by 8, 9, 10 o'clock tonight. So by 10 o'clock news time tonight, the severe weather threat in Arkansas should be coming to an end because this line is really going to accelerate this afternoon. Thank you very much for sending those questions in. I'll try to answer what I can. And there we go. So if you have a question, please pass it along, and I'll be since you may have just popped in here this afternoon on THV 11 Plus. I was going to let this go at 1:30, but if there are some other questions, I'll be happy to answer them. And let me look at the comment section here. I cannot look at the other comments. Michael Buckner, if you're still with me. Okay. Yeah, okay. So just to review now, severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 6, and there's the tornado watch, and that's going on tonight. I need to get the timing of that. Just when you think you got things planned out, this happens. And there's your watch for those southwest Arkansas counties until 9 p.m. And the county that is within our viewing area is Nevada. Ouachita County is also a county in our viewing area. I have to look at a map sometimes too, folks. But Nevada would be the only county of concern in the central Arkansas viewing area. That's the responsibility of the National Weather Service, the responsibility of National Weather Service in Shreveport, I should say. A lot of the counties you see in purple are split between Tulsa and Little Rock, so there's quite a bit going on there. But those are the watches that we have for you tonight. And we're also looking at the that area that's in Hot Spring County. There's no lightning with it. There's very little lightning with that line, but you begin to see these individual cells pop up in southwest Arkansas, and that may be the reason why the Weather Service has gone forth with a tornado watch. You get 1 or 2 supercells before the line comes together. Otherwise, for western and northwestern Arkansas, it's pretty much a line, and boy, they're getting hit pretty good in Fayetteville. Strong thunderstorms, non-severe, but got a lot of lightning, might even have a little hail. Let me do this. I'm going to go to our board here and see if there's any hail reported within these storms. And hail now, no, not seeing any there or in western Arkansas. Doesn't mean there may not be any down the road. So that's good news. All right. You're watching THV 11 Plus. You're watching us on YouTube. I got to tell you something, you YouTube folks. Normally when you see me, it's late at night and we're having snacks together. Well, this is for you YouTubers out there. I got my cup of coffee and the snack of choice, potato chips, a bag of chips this afternoon, YouTubers. Thank you. Normally it's like an oatmeal cream pie or something like that. Hey, we can have a little fun on this. We can talk you through it. It's not all serious, not yet. But it's beginning to encroach in central Arkansas for those of you that are watching us out there. Thank you so much. And I'm happy to try to answer the questions for you today. All right, Robin. Thank you, Robin. Do I expect? Yes, Christy, we've answered that. And there's folks camping in and around Polk County. And those are the questions that I'm seeing this afternoon. A lot of other folks probably watching a little bit of sporting of it. We've got, what is that, soccer? Perry, what do we have on THV? What's on CBS? It's soccer. You know, I try to be as careful as I can when we interrupt for tornado warnings, but let's face it, it's soccer, right? Oh, Big Ten football's coming. That's probably at 2:30 this afternoon. All right, never mind. I won't plan on interrupting unless we have a tornado warning, and if we do, I'll push to our digital platform. And oh, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, let me take this opportunity to tell you that if you have a smart TV at home and you have access to Apple or if you have access to Amazon, the Fire Stick, you can download THV 11 Plus app for free, and you can stream us on that platform as well as your YouTubes and YouTube and also on Facebook.